Bob and I don't agree on this one.
We do
I'll tell you why I disagree. Because for the most part, they don't get knockouts. And
because there's 2 minutes.
No, wrong.
Look at the percentage of knockouts that in men's boxing that come in the last minute. Percent is huge.
Yeah, but the women aren't hurt in the first 2 minutes. The reason those knockouts happen is in the third minute is because there's already someone doing the chicken dance. Here's the thing. What makes women's boxing, in my mind, such a compelling product is that they fight every second of the fight. A women's fight's generally an all-action fight. Here's the other thing. People's attention spans aren't particularly great. Bob's a purist. He's been doing this for 7 decades. So am I to some extent. You know, and among men's boxing, 3-minute rounds is what we do. But women's boxing's always been 2-minute rounds. And add to this fact, 2-minute rounds are safer. And I really urge every member of the press to do the following. Google women and concussion, and Google women and head injury, and Google women and brain bleeds. And if you Google all those things, you will see that women are more susceptible, young women are more susceptible to brain injury, concussion, brain bleed, stroke than men are. So I firmly am against changing a sport from where it's been. Women's boxing has always been 2-minute rounds. I don't believe in changing anything to make it less safe.
So if you listen to Dr. Dibella here, you wouldn't let them fight at all.
Well, if you listen, if you know, look, there's risk in boxing. There's risk in boxing, but what I'm saying is accurate. And if you don't think it is, look at your phone and Google women and head injury. And 85 studies will. And Bob, you went to Harvard Law School, so did I. Harvard Medical School study firmly says that women are at more risk for concussion than men.
So just down here, on the undercard, I don't mention Taylor Robinson, you're a big fan of, the Maloney brothers. Were there any other fighters that you feel like we're sleeping on?
David Nika's a real good prospect, like really good prospect. The guy he was in with was tough today. I think it's only his like 3rd or 4th pro fight, but he was an Olympian, a medalist for New Zealand. But I think that kid has the whole package. He looks like a movie star, and I mean he's got a. He just got with a new trainer. He stands up a little bit too straight, which is typical of a guy that's making that transition from amateur, but tremendous athlete. I think he's a tremendous. And Hemi, look, that you didn't see it today because that guy quit. He hurt his arm probably because he got hit in it. But Hemi punches like a bull. I mean, he's just all punching power, and everything's from his legs. He has thighs that are the size of like. His thighs are immense and everything. Sort of like Tyson, he has that power that comes from his legs. So, I mean, I think he's a danger to anybody at heavyweight.
You talked earlier, you said this is a really positive time for Australian boxing. You just mentioned a couple.
Well, you have a guy over there where he was here before. Zarafa was just in the room.
Yeah, Michael. Would you like to just elaborate, for those who don't follow the sport?
You got Tim Tszyu. You got Tim Tszyu's brother. You got
Keita.
What? I'm sorry. You have right. Nikita Tszyu. You have Zarafa. There are young guys like Mahoney, the kid Mahoney, who could punch a little bit. Is I think a decent prospect. When I was looking to match things, people on the undercard, I sort of looked around and looked at a lot of sort of tapes on YouTube fights, and there are a lot of kids on the Australian continent right now that can fight. And there's the talent pool of Australian professional boxing hasn't been stronger since I've been in boxing. I've been in boxing 33 years. So I would say it's the strongest talent pool right now that there's ever been in Australian boxing.
Why do you think that might be? Would you have any theories about that?
He's got no guns.
It's interesting. I really don't have much of a theory on that because I don't think, I think boxing's sort of rising here a bit, but it's still more of a niche sport in Australia. You guys are much more about AFL and rugby and cricket and such. Boxing's not yet at that point, but the gyms seem to be growing. The number of gyms, the number of young people that box. Some of them box to stay in shape. Others are boxing with an eye toward a professional career. But there are a lot of people boxing on an amateur level in Australia, and I think the overall talent pool in Australia is better than I've ever seen it.
That's right. Differentiated from the United States, which has no other sports but boxing, right?
No, it's similar in the United States because we're sort of a niche sport there too, aren't we?
Not really, not with the minority groups. What has really helped develop and kept boxing very prominent in the United States is that with the young demographics, Hispanics and African Americans, boxing is hugely popular, and that has meant the survival of the sport in the United States. That's
With immigrants in general now, when you have a wave of poor people from Eastern Europe coming in, you see poor kids from Eastern Europe fighting, you know.
unless they were Putin and fighting for Russia.
Yeah. They ready?
He's on his way now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi. Back to women's boxing. I was just wondering, when are you guys ever going to